Welcome back everyone to episode 3 in season 3 of my Brighton career mode on FIFA 23, and it's a career mode that sees us in 3rd place in the Premier League table with 19 games played, 39 points on the board, just 1 point behind league leaders Manchester City, and having dominated our Europa League group, sailing through to the next round with 18 points, 6 wins out of 6, and having £108 million to spend at the very start of the January transfer window. It is a very exciting time to be a Brighton fan. But of course, if you are enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get back into today's episode. And we are starting the episode by taking a good long hard look at our squad to see where we can improve. Now, with Evan Ferguson leading the way in the goal scoring charts and Patrick Wimmer and Harvey Barnes being two of my other highest rated players, I don't really think it's an area of the squad that we need to improve right now. Midfield is another area that I am feeling particularly strong about, especially as I now have an 88 rated Erkin Koku, and with Estupiñán establishing himself as one of the best left backs in the league, Mark Gay coming in strong at the start of the season, and Roger Ibanez brimming with confidence having a new defensive partner next to him, there is only realistically one other area of the squad that I would like to look for some improvements on. Now, with Pablo Maffeo rated 83 and putting in some very good performances for me over the last couple of years, he is not really my main concern at right back. However, my other right back in reserve in Tarek Lamptey is, however, the problem. Now, despite him featuring in far more games than Pablo Maffeo across both the Premier League and the Europa League due to the AI taking up most of my fixtures, for some reason at the back end of last season, due to not getting enough game time then, he submitted a loan request. And the stupid thing is that whilst he now is getting far more game time, therefore he wouldn't even need to take the loan, he's refusing to retract that loan request, which also means he's then refusing any new contract negotiations. And the problem is, with him only now having 7 months left on his contract and likely to be snapped up on a pre-contract agreement heading into the January transfer window, I think I'm going to have no choice but to replace the young man. So with that in mind, I have shortlisted a variety of different left backs from a variety of different European clubs, and with us challenging for European football this season, I think it's absolutely imperative that we try and bring someone in who can genuinely improve the starting 11 and not just be a reserve for Pablo Maffeo. Now, my first choice would more than likely be Jeremy Frimpong. He's the highest rated player of all of them on the shortlist. However, with him rated £78 million and the asking price being more than likely around £118 million, even with me having £108 million to spend, I just cannot justify spending that much money on a right back, and realistically, I'm not quite sure it's something that Brighton would do in real life either. And so instead, I have turned my attention to someone else, a man who's racked up over 100 appearances for Feyenoord in real life and now finds himself plying his trade for Borussia Dortmund in FIFA 23. But with him desperate to get a taste of Premier League football for the first time in his career, it's time to say hello to our first signing in the January transfer window as Lasharel Gertruda joins the club for a record fee of £60 million. Again, that's a little bit more than I would have liked to have paid for a right back, to be completely honest. However, he is someone at 24 years of age and 85 rated who is even not yet hit his prime. He offers us versatility across right back, central defence and in central defensive midfield. And look at these stats, all green, all completely through the roof, and he is someone who can head straight into our starting 11. Now, if this isn't a squad that's worthy of Champions League football, then I really don't know what is. We are in the best shape that we have ever been across this career mode, and now it is up to us to try and get over the line. And as we head over to the Riverside to face a newly promoted Middlesbrough side, it is time for Gertruda to introduce himself to the Brighton faithful, even if he's made a slight faux pas at the beginning of his Brighton career by wearing a Middlesbrough shirt. Mark Gay fires it over to Gertruda for his first touch in a Brighton shirt, and it's a good touch. He's going to try and take this inside, into Patrick Wimmer. He finds Ugarte. Ugarte out to Harvey Barnes, shifts it onto his right, goes for a curling shot, and look at that, just like that, within the opening 6 minutes, we take a 1-0 lead. Well, it's just all too easy, and it's understandable why Middlesbrough are bottom of the Premier League table. They just stood off Harvey Barnes, and that is shocking goalkeeping. And when you give that man that much time and space, his quality will make you pay, as he did, as we take the lead. Templeman. Nice ball over to Jones on the right-hand side, who takes it down very nicely. Finds Wagner into Templeman again. Nice pass into Hope, and he strikes straight at the goalkeeper. Ugarte. Out to Estupiñán on the left, cuts inside for Ludovic Blas. Harvey Barnes gets it back, looks for Evan Ferguson. Nice touch, nice turn, nice strike, but it's well saved by the goalkeeper. Estupiñán, high up the field. finds Ludovic Blas. He switches it out wide to Harvey Barnes. First time ball into the box. Again, he looks for that outside of the foot, right cross. He's done that so many times on this career mode, but just can't get on the end of it. Anyone can. But we are going to manage to win that one in the midfield. Koku gives it to Ludovic Blas. Ludovic Blas strikes straight against the defender. Templeman for Middlesbrough. Well challenged by Koku. And Koku releases Ludovic Blas. Ludovic Blas is going to try and play it into the path of Evan Ferguson. Brilliant save. Into Patrick Wimmer, who's been uncharacteristically quiet so far in this game, but he has managed to find a nice ball to Ludovic Blas. Back to Wimmer, out to Gertrude, who's storming down the right-hand side. It's a good ball in. Not good enough, though. It's too easy for the goalkeeper. Mark Gay's going to come across and try and block off the run of the striker, but he doesn't manage to do it, and he manages instead to get past Roger Ibanez as Middlesbrough have a great opportunity, and Bart Verbruggen comes to our rescue. Templeman into Hope. He drives past Mark Gay, trying to get a ball into a box. It's a good ball in the box. Oh my word, that was an acrobatic strike there from the midfielder, but it wasn't good enough and it goes sailing over our crossbar. Matson on as a substitute finds another substitute in Dahoud. He finds Ludovic Blas. Oh, skipped away from the challenge of the defender so easily there. Brilliant stuff. Oh, tried to strike with his left. It was a weak strike in the end, but Dahoud will win it back. Harvey Barnes going to shift it onto his right. Going to look to go in the far corner instead. Balloons it over the bar. Harvey Barnes finding himself on the right-hand side. It's Jeremy Pino on as a substitute. Into Dahoud. Dahoud from the edge of the box with his left foot. What a save again from Lumley. We are really searching for the second goal, but so far we have not been able to find it. It's thrown in, looking for the substitute Maffeo, headed down by Harvey Barnes. It's away by the Middlesbrough players as the referee blows for full time. Well, to be completely honest, it was a pretty tame affair in the end after what looked like was going to be a rampant performance from us having scored in the opening 6 minutes. But it was the single goal scored by that man Harvey Barnes yet again that did separate the two teams. As at full time, it finishes here at the Riverside Stadium, Middlesbrough 0, Brighton 1. Well, I doubt I'd say there was anything particularly special to write home about this man's debut in a Brighton shirt. A 5.8 rating, which I think was a little bit harsh considering he did get a clean sheet and did put in one or two decent crosses from the right-hand side. But with strong competition from Pablo Maffeo for the rest of the season, he's definitely got to improve his performances if he wants to maintain his place in the starting 11. However hard-fought that victory was, it is one that we will gladly accept, as the 3 points has lifted us up to first place in the Premier League for the first time in our history on this career mode. And for a team that was only hoping to qualify for the Champions League this season, we are now embarking on a very unlikely title challenge built on the foundations of a solid defence, having only conceded 18 goals so far, the lowest tally across all the teams in the league. And for me, this is all to do with this triangle that has been formed in front of our goal. His loan to Leicester City last season has done this young man absolute wonders. He's now up to 82, firmly established himself as our number one goalkeeper and has the potential to be one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. And as for the signing of Mark Gay, well, he has been an absolute revelation at the back. He's taken on the responsibility of not only being our new defensive signing, but also being our captain and our leader moving forward, which is in no small part helped the performances of this man Roger Ibanez, who has come alive in his second season in a Brighton shirt and having one of the best seasons in his entire career, and long may it continue. For now though, we are about to continue getting stuck into the action as we embark on another incredible unbeaten run across the months of January and February that culminates with a massive 3-1 win against our title rivals Manchester City, and helped us pull out a 3-point lead at the top of the table, with Liverpool now in second place, joining the chasing pack behind us. And whilst I touch upon my defence earlier on, there is one man that is leading the charge for us up front, and his name is Evan Ferguson. He's got up by 4 points to now an 83 rating to establish himself as our number one striker, both in goals and rating overall. But with 24 goals to his name in just 33 appearances overall, he's one goal away from equalling his tally from the whole of last season, and he could well be on the cusp of turning himself into a world superstar. For me though, it's the three players that follow him who are all the unsung heroes, Harvey Barnes being the first of them, with him now up to an 87 rating, contributing with 16 goals and 6 assists across 34 appearances. He has been in fine form on that left-hand side of midfield. Ludovic Blas was only brought in a couple of seasons ago to provide competition for Julio Cesar and Ciso, but he's absolutely blown him out of the water. Up to 85, 10 goals and 2 assists in 29 appearances for the young Frenchman. And Patrick Wimmer, he's only 23 years of age, but he is already up to 86. The world is this man's oyster, and with 9 goals and 6 assists in 35 appearances, he continues to carry the right-hand side of my midfield. And I'm hoping that all 4 of them can continue their fantastic veins of form as we head back to the MX Stadium for a huge clash against Tottenham Hotspur. Romero, nice pass into Yves Bissouma. And he's found Heung-min Son, who's come inside. He goes back this time to Brian Hill. He brings the ball forward over to the right-hand side to Emerson Royale. Spurs in the box. Brilliant challenge by Estupiñán. Heung-min Son has got space to run into here as Gertruda was caught napping down that right-hand side. Erkin Koku's frantically trying to get back to try and make amends. Heung-min Son, though, makes a complete hash of that. And Gertrude's blushes are spared. Brian Hill for Spurs. Down the line into Emerson Royale. He's slowed up, though, by Ibanez, who wins the ball back really well. And now Ugarte can try and fire a ball across to Patrick Vimmer. He takes it down really nicely. He's got an overlapping run of Gertruda on the right-hand side that he manages to find. And Gertruda's going to try and whip a good ball in. Looks for Evan Ferguson. It's headed away by the Spurs defence. As I thought we were in for a penalty shout there, but as you can see, it was a very slight offside. Finds Gertruda. Gertruda to Patrick Vimmer. Nicely done. Vimmer's going to go inside for Ludovic Blas. Takes it nicely. He's going to try and look for Harvey Barnes. Does. He tries to strike. Blocked by the Spurs defence. We can't really break them down so far in this opening 45 minutes. Well, neither team has really had much to shout about in the first half. It's been a pretty tame affair, just like the Middlesbrough game was earlier on in the episode. But we will be looking to do something different to try and spark some energy into this game as Gertruda takes it down the right-hand side. Looks for Patrick Vimmer. Nowhere to go, so goes inside to Erkin Koku. I'm going to try and fire this one across to the left-hand side to Harvey Barnes. Taken down well. Can I find the overlap? Yes, I can. Estupiñán on the left-hand side. Fires it back in. Looking for Evan Ferguson. It was over his head, though. Can we win the second ball? We can! Oh, my word! It's off the post. What a volley. And what an incredible goal that would have been. And in the end, it's bounced around and goes back to the goalkeeper. Oh, my word. What on earth? Oh, that's a huge miss from Gertruda as the goalkeeper just rolled it out. Look at the replay. Gertruda, though, I wasn't expecting it. I tried to strike first time, got it all wrong, and that was another big chance that goes begging. It's going to be Sessegnon with the throw for Spurs. Looks like he's going to go short. He does go to Heung-min Son. Nice footwork to get away from my defenders. Into Duchameni to try and drive to the outside of the box. Into Alexander Isak. He turns his back on our defence, but he still manages to keep hold of the ball. He strikes. What a save. Well, for some reason, no one decided to put a challenge in, and so that meant Spurs have now got a corner. Heung-min Son just tried to loop over Verbruggen, but he was one step ahead of him. Sessegnon into Heung-min Son. Son turns nicely, under a bit of pressure, but finds Alexander Isak. He's going to look for a ball, does find a ball to Williams, tries to fire it back across to Duchameni with a header. It was a tame one in the end. Booted clear by the goalkeeper. Trying to find Evan Ferguson with a run, and he does in fact find Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson runs into a bit of trouble though, but he's managed to keep hold of the ball, and he's managed to get a corner. Well, from absolutely nothing, we've got a corner, and this is definitely going to be the last chance of the game. It's thrown in by Koku, looking for Ibanez. Can't find him. Ugarte will hopefully get onto the ball. He will. He finds Koku. I'm going to try and throw this one back into the box, looking for Harvey Barnes. It's with his head. He can't quite get there, and it's just booted away by the Tottenham goalkeeper as the referee blows for full time. Well, in the end, we just couldn't break Spurs down. It's a tough result to take, but a draw is a draw at the end of the day. It's another point gained rather than a point lost, as at full time it finishes Brighton 0, Spurs 0. Frustratingly though, only a few days later, Spurs are able to get the last laugh as they, away from home, beat us in the FA Cup 2-0 that sees us crash out. And that loss has hurt us badly because it's followed up by another one, this time to their North London rivals Arsenal. Again away from home, we drop another 3 points, and it's another 2-0 loss. However, we do have to put those results to one side as it is time for us to embark on our European journey once again. In Portugal though this time, as we have been drawn against Sporting Lisbon in the round of 16. And if you have watched some of my other career modes, you'll know that I do tend to sim the first round of European games. And in this case, we're lucky enough that Yeremy Pino has come to our rescue just 12 minutes from time as we managed to secure a 2-2 draw and get 2 much needed away goals. But coming back to the Premier League and losing yet another game, this time away from home against Manchester United, I do wonder if we've slightly taken our eye off the ball. Somehow though, in spite of those 2 losses, we still sit top of the table, but it is that Manchester United team that just beat us who are now our closest rivals. They are just 1 point behind us, and like our other seasons, I've got to think that this is going to go right down to the wire. It's time for us, however, to shift our attention back to Europe and lean on the experience of the 37-year-old Karim Benzema to try and take us through as we face off against Sporting Lisbon at the Amex Stadium in the second leg tie of the round of 16. Oh, what a sensational through ball that is. He is just carved through my defence, and it's Cabral who's in the box. He turns his back on Maffeo, trying to shift around and wriggle around, but Mark Gay is able to just head that one clear. And I'll tell you what, we got away with one, but we have not. Sporting Lisbon have come out of the gate absolutely frantic here, as they almost get a goal, if it was not for the outstretched arms of Bart Verbruggen. And they've got a corner within the first 6 minutes of the game that they're going to throw in. It's Ugarte who, with the power header, clears it away, but it's only out as far as the edge of our penalty area. It's back into the box, and again Bart Verbruggen with a big save. And fortunately enough for me, they've just strayed offside. Erkin Koku wriggles away from the central midfielder. Ludovic Blas, though, is caught under pressure. And again, Sporting Lisbon win the ball back high. And again, they come after me here. I seem to be asleep in this opening 15-20 minutes here. But Sporting Lisbon are all over me. Oh my word, Roger Ibanez with a massive interception. Sporting Lisbon again looking for those balls into the channel. And they found them again. And again, it's Bart Verbruggen with his third big save of the game. It's a corner here that Cabral will take, and I've barely even been out of my own half in the opening 20 minutes. It's just been an absolute barrage of pressure. And Verbruggen with his fourth save, and they can't believe it. Cabral, yet again, is going to throw this one into the box, and he's looking for a slightly different approach than he was last time, but it's Ugarte who manages to head it clear. He's not going to be able to get to the second ball, though. Morita did. It's Cabral again, into Bragança. He tries to get past Mark Gay, but again, the wall at the back skips past the challenge of Cabral, and he will now try and bring the ball forward. Pedro Porro for Sporting Lisbon. He tries to drive past Matson. Can't get past him. They still have the ball here. It has been all Sporting Lisbon. Into the box. Bragança. Oh, it's a brilliant interception and block by Mark Gay yet again. Oh my word, I just cannot seem to get out of my half. I can't seem to win the ball back at all. Pedro Porro's in here. Pavlidis. Oh my goodness, Verbruggen again. This is an onslaught. It's an absolute barrage of pressure here from Sporting Lisbon inside the opening 35 minutes. And I'm just desperate to try and keep this at 0-0 heading into the end of the first half. Verbruggen all the way out to Pablo Maffeo on the right hand side, and he biases it into Erkin Koku. The first time really I've managed to get into their half, and it's a brilliant ball. Oh, Benzema, that wasn't the pass I wanted to play, but Harvey Barnes will have it with his left, and in the end it's a good save by the goalkeeper. It was bouncing around, but Matson will have it and strike, and he balloons it over the bar high and wide. Maffeo, we're going to hope to start off this second half just as we finish the first, as Jeremy Pino with some lovely footwork to get away from the defender and fired it in, looking for Harvey Barnes. Couldn't get to him, but Ugarte will pick it up. And now into Koku. Koku back out wide to Maffeo. He takes it onto his right, shifts it into the box. Again looking for Harvey Barnes. Again can't get there. And again the ball is bouncing around on the edge of the box. Maffeo though keeps it alive. Brings it in field for Ludovic Blas. He finds Benzema. And he just can't bend it round the goalkeeper. Pedro Porro away only as far as Ugarte. We're pressing them much higher this time. And it's been a much better start to the second half. As we go in field looking for Erkin Koku. He finds Benzema. And Benzema with the outside of his right boot finds the back of the net, and that is the type of experience and calmness in those situations that man was brought into the club for. Fantastic build-up play, and it was laid on a plate for Benzema, and when he is in that position, he does not miss from there. He celebrates by smashing himself into the corner flag, and he gives us a 1-0 lead. It's 3-2 on aggregate. Ludovic Blas out wide to Matson on the left-hand side. Matson into Ugarte. Ugarte finds Benzema. Benzema has got still the pace to drive into the box. Maybe he doesn't, as St. Juice came across. Diamande over the top, looking for the right winger, and instead finds Pedro Porro, but he's done beautifully. Mark Gay again, though, couldn't quite get on the end of it. It's Issa Haku now to try and drive to the edge of the box. Sporting Lisbon looking desperately for an equaliser here. It's thrown into the box that Ibanez was able to get clear. They still have it, though, still putting on the pressure. They are all over us here in this second half. Issa Haku, though, cannot get past this. He can get past Mark Gay. Oh, my word. Mark Gay, what has happened? Well, he's been an absolute wall at the back for us all season, but that wall was broken down there at the worst possible time. He slipped past him and then slipped a fantastic strike past Bart Verbruggen to bring Sporting Lisbon back on level terms. Rita now for Sporting Lisbon. They're now looking for a winner. They are in the ascendancy, although they give the ball away in a cheap area there as Ugarte wins it high. Benzema, oh, for goodness sake, referee. I was about to turn and try and play in Ludovic Blas, but instead he had other ideas. He blew for full time, and it looks like we're going to be going to extra time. Becker into Pavlidis, nicely done. He's been chased down by Mark Gay. Instead he manages to find Bragança, and it's Becker back into the box, swivelling around. Mark Gay makes amends and then gives the ball away almost. Bart Verbruggen was on hand though to just wrap it up. Becker for Sporting Lisbon. Oh, that is beautifully done. He's made a fool out of Maatsen there. Just dinked it past him. And into the box now, Braganza. Into the box. Oh, it's off the bar by Vinagre. It's headed down. And fortunately enough, Bart Verbruggen can just hold on to that one. Vinagre for Sporting Lisbon. They've started off this first half yet again the way that they finished the second. But Bart Verbruggen out again as the referee blows for half-time and extra time. There is just 15 minutes remaining here for one of these two teams to try and get a winner. Otherwise, we go to the lottery that is the penalty shootout. Ludovic Blas out wide to Yeremy Pino. He drops inside, looks for Evan Ferguson on as a sub, and Evan Ferguson, with his first touch of the game, gives Brighton Football Club the lead. And look at the celebrations. The players and the fans are going absolutely wild here. Well, straight away from the build-up, Yeremy Pino came deep, and look at this for a finish. Just curved it round the goalkeeper, and that is the finish of a young man who is just brimming with confidence on the half volley. That was unbelievably difficult, but it was unbelievably done by the young Irishman, and he celebrates in front of the crowd as he gives us a 2-1 lead. Stupinian on as a sub will take the throw, and he gives it to the other substitute, Kevin Wimmer. That's Harvey Barnes. We've got just under 5 minutes here to try and hold on to this win here, but Harvey Barnes will take it and he will drive into the box looking for Evan Ferguson. He finds Yeremy Pino, who finds the back of the net, and that is it. It is game, set and match here at the Amex Stadium. We are sailing through to the quarter-finals of the Europa League. Well, after pretty much dominating the game, Sporting Lisbon heads have dropped and they are all over the shop, and we have just carved them apart. Evan Ferguson again involved, this time laying on the assist. And Yeremy Pino, a man who's been pretty quiet so far in this season, has popped up just when I needed him to. It's 3-1 Brighton. Becker. Sporting Lisbon continue to come forward, but Stupinian is just there ahead of him. They just do not have the fight left in them anymore. Harvey Barnes takes it, but the referee blows for full time. The crowd are absolutely ecstatic. For the first time in Brighton's history, they will be playing in a quarter-final of a European competition. The Brighton players celebrate. They know how much it means to the fan base. And for most of these guys as well, this will be the first time for them that they will be playing in European competition in the latter stages as well. As at full time in front of a rampant Brighton crowd, it finishes 3-1, 5-3 on aggregate. And I have absolutely nothing but positive things to say, both about the player performance and about the crowd support today. It was two hard-fought games over two legs, but ultimately, I think the right team deserved the win, and I am so proud of the performance of the players. But is our luck about to run out in this competition, as out of all the teams we could have played, we have been drawn against Manchester City in the quarter-finals. But with us being top of the Premier League table with just 9 games remaining, I don't think we have anything to fear in either competition. As morale is high, and it looks like it's going to be a photo finish as we head towards the final furlong in this long, hard season. But that is it for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. I've had so much fun playing it. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you again next time.